Okay, if you work in tech, software engineering, or IT, you already know the ground is literally shifting beneath our feet. I mean, AI advancements, stuff like Claude Code, these crazy advanced coding copilots, fully autonomous agents, they aren't just cool little tech demos anymore. As the source material for today's explainer reveals, corporations are actively weaponizing them. They're using them as leverage to roll out massive, sweeping layoffs. But, and this is a big but, tucked inside this incredibly subversive survival guide we're unpacking today is a loophole, a way to totally outsmart the exact metrics these companies are using to decide who stays and who gets the boot. It's all about hacking the system, mastering perception, and basically making sure that when the next wave of cuts inevitably hits, you are completely untouchable. So let's dive right into this. 10 to 12%. According to our source, that's the chunk of the workforce that just vanished in a sudden, completely unexpected wave of layoffs at a major organization. And you know what's truly terrifying about that? This wasn't some slow-moving dinosaur company struggling to catch up. No, this was an organization that was already supposed to be AI first. The employees honestly thought they were safe because, hey, they were tech-savvy, they were totally embedded in the AI culture. But, yeah, they were wrong. It turns out just having a desk at an AI-forward company does not protect you from the executive acts. When leadership suddenly decides they want to trim the fat because AI is supposedly making everyone so much more efficient, 10 to 12% of the company can vanish literally overnight. It leaves everyone else in the state of just total panic and uncertainty. And look, that brings us right to the massive elephant in the room. Is AI going to replace your job? The anxiety in the industry right now is just palpable. We are all watching these advanced AI models chew through complex code, write entire documentation sets, and debug systems in a matter of seconds. It's wild, and it is a completely valid fear to have. But here is the fascinating thing our source discovered by closely monitoring executive decision-making. Your survival doesn't depend on outcoding the AI. It depends entirely on how you play the corporate game. Executives aren't necessarily hunting for the best, most traditional, head-down programmers anymore. They're looking for something else entirely. And figuring out what that something else is, well, that is the absolute key to your survival right now.
All right, let's get into Section 1, the ultimate hack, mastering perception over reality.
Okay, you need to burn this term into your brain right now, AI slop. Our source defines this as flashy, totally unoptimized, and potentially insecure nonsense produced using AI that leadership inexplicably loves. Now, you might be a brilliant engineer, right? You pride yourself on beautiful, highly efficient, rock-solid secure code? Well, you're going to have to put that pride on the shelf for a minute. Based on what executives are actually rewarding, what the company desperately wants to see from you right now is a prototype. They want you to use AI to spin up some sort of product, and they literally do not care if it's completely unoptimized or just riddled with security flaws under the hood. The reality is everyone in the industry is building AI slop right now. And shockingly, building this flashy nonsense is exactly how companies are deciding if you're adding value or not. Crazy, right? It really highlights this massive disconnect happening in corporate tech right now. On one side of the spectrum, you have deep engineering, secure, optimized, built on really solid software principles, the exact stuff you were trained to do. But then on the other side, you have leadership desires, flashy demos, the AI slop we just talked about, this whole product-first illusion. The thing is, executives aren't digging deep enough into the code base to see if you understand core engineering principles anymore. They're looking purely at the surface. They want the illusion of speed, the illusion of deep AI integration. If you spend 3 weeks meticulously writing perfect, secure code, to them, you just look slow. But if you spend 3 days duct taping together an AI model that spits out some flashy demo video, boom, you look like a visionary pushing the company into the future. You absolutely have to feed them that product-first illusion if you want to survive the next review cycle. Which takes us to Section 2, the visibility playbook, marketing your flashy mirage. So let's break down this visibility hack step by step, because honestly, this is your protective cushion for that next appraisal. Step 1, build the AI prototype. Just use the tools, generate the code, get a front end working, and do not stress about the back end scaling at all. Step 2, do a show and tell. Present it to your team, record a slick little demo video, just make it look incredibly interesting on paper. Step 3, post it on LinkedIn. You've got to build that public brand as an AI pioneer so your leadership sees you as a thought leader. And then step 4, and our source highlights this as the most subversive, brilliant part of the whole strategy. Write an internal blog post. Pack it with these super complex architecture diagrams outlining the fancy AI approach you took to solve a problem. And here's the absolute kicker. Most of the time, you can do this for a problem that doesn't even actually exist. Seriously. Don't get bogged down by actual utility. Make up a complex problem, solve it with a flashy diagram, market it relentlessly, and make it look like a massive breakthrough. I actually want to pause on this specific quote from the source material because it just hits the nail on the head. The fact that you're producing some nonsense, which looks flashy, leadership appreciates that. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It sounds completely absurd, doesn't it? It goes against literally every logical instinct you have as a professional. But this is the reality of the current corporate panic around AI. Executives are absolutely desperate to prove to their boards, to their investors, that their company is at the cutting edge. By producing this flashy nonsense, you are handing leadership exactly what they need to feel good about themselves. You're speaking their new love language. You're creating this undeniable perception that you are a fast-moving first adopter who is directly contributing to AI features. Put all these visibility points together and your name instantly drops right off that layoff list. All right, let's move into Section 3, the metric game, burning tokens for survival. So we are seeing this skyrocketing trend around something called employee AI token usage. According to our source, companies have totally panicked and landed on this highly quantifiable yet completely ridiculous new way to measure who is actually an AI-forward employee. Token consumption. Yep. They are literally judging your value to the company based on how many API tokens, like how much raw AI computing power, you are burning through on a daily basis. They are using this raw, totally arbitrary number as the ultimate metric to judge if you're good or bad, if you're embracing AI or resisting it. If your token usage is low, you are a massive target. They see you as this legacy engineer who just refuses to adapt. But if your token usage is just off the charts, you are suddenly considered a high-value, indispensable asset. So, the absolute most crucial takeaway here is this: exploit the loophole. The source's advice on this is incredibly blunt. Get out there and burn the tokens that the company is paying for. Get your token consumption skyrocketing, like immediately. Run endless queries, automate massive prompts, leave AI agents running in infinite loops on your machine in the background if you have to. You just have to play the game the exact way they've set up the board. By jacking up your token consumption, you are actively manipulating their own irrational metric to prove your worth. And honestly, the best part? The company is footing the bill for the whole shebang. The source strongly urges you to start doing this right now. Build up that protective cushion before the leadership team eventually wakes up and realizes that what they are doing is completely irrational. And that brings us to a final, pretty provocative thought I want to leave you with today. Are you building real value, or are you just surviving the irrational token game? Look, the truth is the current state of corporate AI adoption is a mess. It's frantic, and it's driven almost entirely by fear and perception. The old traditional rules of being a good, quiet, head-down engineer, these simply do not apply anymore when a 10 to 12% layoff can just hit you out of absolutely nowhere. This playbook we've walked through in today's explainer, building the AI slop, hyping up flashy non-solutions with fake architecture diagrams, and actively burning company tokens to game an automated performance metric, it's cynical, for sure. But it is also an incredibly fascinating reflection of the exact moment we're living in right now. Your job today isn't just to write code. It's to play the corporate survival game. So take a really hard look at how you are positioning yourself at work tomorrow and ask yourself, how can I make sure my visibility is loud enough and my token burn is high enough to outsmart the system?